Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being part of the show. We are going to have a wonderful show today. Today I was out in the field again with my good old sisters here in Kingwood, Texas, out in the field in front of Dan Crenshaw's office. And I got some little chatting that I did with them, but I also got a pretty long interview that I did with a evangelical MAGA out there. I know some of you don't like that I do that kind of engagement, but while some of you don't want to, I will continue to do so because I see that the only way the country gonna get together, if somehow we break through to a few. Some people are immutable, but we don't know who the immutable ones are. And I can tell you that this guy that I spoke to, even off camera, we had some interesting conversation that sometimes I wondered if I should have taped as well. But anyhow, we are going to get through this. Anyhow, welcome aboard, IAVQ, El Señor Michael Rudnick from Brooklyn, New York in the house as well. Joe from Los Angeles, California. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. Patrick Magner, my brother here in Houston, Texas. And we also have, of course, para Paul Fleming from Powder Springs, Georgia. March KJ. Love you being here, March KJ, and thank you for this morning. I don't remember if I called you out, but I want to make sure and call you out for your support at KPFT this morning. Love you, girl. I mean, anybody want to talk about supporting progressive media? You're supporting us here at Politics Done Right, and you're also supporting us at KPFT. Thank you. And for those of you out there who I can't see yet because you haven't made your presence known, who are both my supporter here at Politics Done Right and the supporter at KPFT. You guys are doing double duty, and I want to thank you kindly for that. I couldn't make it without your contributions here, and KPFT couldn't make it without your contributions there. You guys are simply wonderful. Thank you. Anyway, let's get to the program. Harry Fault says, I am more active than I ever had been and thinking I should go out even if I stand alone. My town is very MAGA. Shari, you nailed it, Shari. You nailed it. Your town may seem very MAGA, but now is the time, Shari. Let me tell you why. You see, when we talk, because a lot of the stuff that's happening doesn't affect a lot of the people immediately, they can buy into what Fox News is saying. Oh, they're just talking crap, or not true, and they can buy into it. But guess what, Sherry? Guess what? Reality is knocking the door now that we said it was going to happen, and now it is happening. As a direct result of tariffs, we're seeing the price increases. In fact, Amazon was going to put the tariff-based price increase on their invoices, but Donald Trump bribed them not to. So now, while the prices are still going up, they can't show what percentage of that price is because of the tariff. But the people can see the prices. They can see the price of coffee. They can see the price of eggs. They can see the price of all these products that are going up. So now is the time to tell them why. And even if you are, let me back up. Get a friend. You shouldn't be alone, and likely also you should have a visible camera on you. Don't be alone. Get a friend that's willing to come out with you. One friend, but have a visible camera on you. You're going to see the visible cameras in a minute. Let me get to Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing, sis? Are you there? Joe. Okay. Is that my connection that is bad, or I'm just not hearing you, Joe?
I'm here.
Okay, great.
Hi.
What's up?
So just now, like 10 minutes ago, a woman, they have a place here where I live. I move around a lot, but right now I'm at a place where it's kind of a fancy place in Santa Monica.
Yes, ma'am.
And they have a place that gives away free food in the morning and the noon. Restaurants give away free food for homeless. And they just assaulted and took this elderly black woman down, 8 or 10 agents, I don't know. And she was living in her car, so she had driven up to the line to get her food. And they took her and they shoved her against a brick wall at the back of the restaurant in an alley. And they proceeded to go through her entire car, tear everything apart, humiliate her, and then just take her away.
Is that on video?
Left her car. I tried to take video. It's very shaky.
I still want it. Whatever you got, I want that video. Please, Joe, send that video. And if you see
at the restaurant called Zuntos, Xuntos.
Yeah, I
And
tell
it's
you what.
in Santa Monica. Yeah.
Boy, thank you for that info, Joe. But Joe, I need you to do me a favor. Whatever video you have, email it to me, info@politicsdoneright.com.
I will.
And the other thing
I
I'd like
will.
you to do is if you find or see anybody or can contact anybody with that video that have a better quality video than you have, but I don't care if yours is shaky, I still want it. I can probably clean it up. But please go
Okay.
ahead and get
And
me
they
that video.
shut her up in her face into a brick wall.
Oh
and
my God.
One officer was just holding her there with her face. She's an
Sister.
old elderly lady, a black lady in a pink sweater.
Please send it to
I'm
me.
still shaking from it.
I hear you,
Okay.
sis.
I
I
just
hear
wanted
you,
to
sis.
let you know.
Thank you. Look, first of all,
Okay.
calm yourself down, sis. Let me tell you this, okay? We're all in this fight together. Let me tell you something. That what you are doing
Okay.
is very
I have to get
important.
off the phone.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. Thank you, sis. Wow, 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 wow. Anyway, let's continue with the program. I need to get that video. I need to get that video. Those animals, that's what they are. Thuggish animals. That's what they are. Okay. Anyway, I was speaking to Shari, and Shari, here is the thing, Shari. Go out with somebody, and I'm going to show. Let me show you the video that I have here with Dan Crenshaw. I think this is the one with. I think this is the one that I have with Vicky, and I want you to see what Vicky, how she is doing her stuff. Let me make sure that I want to play the right one right away. Make sure this one is Vicky. Yeah, this one is Vicky feedback. Okay, check this one out, and then I'll come right back and talk to you more about what all of us should be doing. Hi Vicky, how you doing?
Good morning, Egberto. Look at this beautiful Thursday.
I know, and you guys are keeping up this weekly protest at Dan Crenshaw's
Right.
office. I can't tell you how proud the entire area is of you guys.
Egberto, I think we all feel the same, that it is our obligation, our duty, and our honor to save our democracy. That's why we're all here. Well, most of us are here for that reason. We've had a couple of additions that we welcome, but they don't necessarily agree with us.
But you know what I noticed? In watching folks, I just noticed that you had a whole lot of people out here,
Yeah.
and you were getting a great reception here in Kingwood. It always surprises me when you get that kind of reception.
It's exciting to hear the honk.
Yes,
And we make the assumption that every honk is a good honk.
and it usually is.
They're
Normally
made-
you'll get it with a finger if it's not a good
Exactly.
one.
They
Yeah.
usually don't. They will honk and bird at the same time sometimes.
Right.
Number one.
There you go. I like that. What is your name?
David.
David, nice to see you here, my brother. Yeah.
David's here every Thursday.
I know.
also.
I've spoken to David
Yeah, yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're here enjoying the beautiful sunshine that God gave us. It's a perfect day to be out. We're getting a lot of responses. I
Oh
would
yeah,
like
you
to
got
show
some new
this.
signs, huh? Love it. There you go. Excellent.
And of course, my personal protest on my shirt.
I know this.
Yeah. That, now, obviously, it would never happen, but at the same time,
Well, if Trump changes the precedent, maybe, who knows?
yeah, I would love to see Obama back in office. I thought he was a great president. We'll see what happens.
Well, look, let me tell you, Vicky, thank you for all that you do, and keep up the great work. You're like the ever-ready bunny.
I keep on going and going.
You keep
and
on going and go. You have a great day.
Thank you, Egberto.
Okay, let me tell you, Shari, if you take a look at that, you notice that Vicky has that. It's a very inexpensive video camera on her earpiece. If you're in MAGA land, it is good to have those because they know that even if they're going to try to grab it away from you, they don't know if you're transmitting, and also they know that whoever is approaching you, that their face is going to be there. So it's another level of safety. So if you are in like super MAGA land, make sure you're with one other person at least. I always say, I used to protest sometimes alone. I would be this dude with a sign at town center out there, and then a lot of times other people would join, and it happened a lot. In your case, get one other person and have that camera if you can. They're inexpensive, and and make it visible so that they know that you have a camera that's watching them. Yes, great idea. Thank you. It's what's keep me from doing this so far, because I don't feel safe. Another person and a camera. All right. Michael Rudnin says, democracy now, Mohammed Shadada. For me, it's basically Groundhog Day, because I've seen here countless times. I've lived through 3 Israeli wars, 10 military operations, and 2 ground invasions. Each single one of them ended with a ceasefire agreement that Israel violated as soon as it went into effect. repeatedly. And that's exactly what we see right now. But look, Michael, that's what I said would have happened in the first place, right? Of course, that was just to get the people out. That's all. And they were scared of Trump just giving them the green light to flatten the other areas that hadn't yet been flattened. Israel has violated it 125 times. In addition to yesterday's rampage, where the IDF killed about 100 Gazans, including 35 children, we see Israel not allowing food to go in the quantities that were agreed upon, not opening the Rafah border crossing, continuing to kill people and bomb Gaza daily under different films of pretext, and continuing demolition work like 58% of Gaza that the IDF is still occupying and declaring as, quote, an extermination zone, meaning nobody is allowed to come near that area and anyone that tries to enter is killed or detained immediately. I get it. Okay, let's see what else have we got here. I got a long video to show you guys here, and well, beforehand, let's show the president or the leader of Indivisible, Kingwood, was out there this afternoon as well, and I want you to see her costume. I thought it was quite funny. She told me it was for, what is it called? Let me pull that up from Cindy. She said it's about the ¿Cómo se llama? Read the synopsis of The Handmaid's Tale. She said, you know what The Handmaid's Tale is, Egberto? I'm like, oops, I don't. But anyhow, any of you know what The Handmaid's Tale is? The Handmaid's Tale movie. Anybody know what that is all about? I didn't, but that's a costume she had on. Check this out. Oh my God, who do I have the honor of speaking with today?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk today. I have this mask on my face.
And you know what it's doing? For you to come out here today like this every week, but today is special. Tell me why you came out like this.
Well, it's the day before Halloween. Sorry, that guy's really loud. It's the day before Halloween, and I thought I could get away with this, but I might choose to wear this every week.
I like it. Let's take a full view. Look at her, and she has a new sign. You told me you were going to make a whole lot of new signs, and I really love that one because that one tells a story about, here we get 40 billion for Argentina, while 42 million Americans go hungry, and our farmers are left without. Right?
Yes, but you know that Scott Bessent is a soybean farmer, right?
Oh my God. I mean, I can't believe he said that and he really believed that.
It was unbelievable. I almost fell out of my chair laughing. I have to make a poster about that. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, I imagine you're going to have that poster out here next week. So next week, I guess I'm going to have to come out again to see you in maybe the same uniform with a different poster.
But this poster,
yes,
I'm getting flipped off for this poster.
But it's true.
I know, but I'm getting flipped off.
Well, you know what? You keep doing what you do, Cindy, because this is how we get the work done, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you for being out here. All right. I thought that was kind of funny, but, you know, I guess you learn something every day. All right. One thing before the long discussion with the evangelical MAGA, I want to show you guys. Lawrence O'Donnell I just need to play it because I think I gave it a preamble already. So let's just play Lawrence O'Donnell and what he did last night. I loved it. You know, we complain a lot about the mainstream media. The mainstream media doesn't get it right. The mainstream media is in the hands of the plutocracy, etc., etc., etc. Well, guess what, folks? Last night, in a minute and a half or so, Lawrence O'Donnell did a piece that I wanted to jump into that screen and give him a humongous hug, and it had to do with how the White House press, and for that matter, mainstream media, has been covering Donald Trump. And in fact, much of the ills that Donald Trump gets away with, it's because the media has allowed the American people not to be as informed as they should. So he gets sort of on the flight path of the American people. But anyhow, I want you to listen to this from Lawrence O'Donnell, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Donald Trump spent the day lying about tariffs as usual and getting defeated in the United States Senate once again on his tariffs. The Senate voted 50-46 to block Donald Trump's tariffs imposed on goods imported from Canada. 4 Republicans, led by Senator Rand Paul, joined the Democrats in that vote against Donald Trump's tariffs. Speaking to reporters on Air Force One, Donald Trump told this lie, quote, "Hundreds of billions of dollars are coming into our country primarily because of the election result, but the real reason is tariffs. The tariffs are coming in." No, they are not. All of the tariff money that is pouring into the United States Treasury comes only from American taxpayers in this country who pay the Trump tariffs in this country when foreign goods arrive in this country. Donald Trump did not face a single White House reporter who appears to know what a tariff is. And every White House reporter, as usual, allowed Donald Trump to get away with his other lies about tariffs, including, quote, we're building up great wealth because of tariffs. No, the United States Treasury is taking American wealth away from American taxpayers in the form of tariffs collected only from American taxpayers. No foreign country has ever paid an American tariff and never will. The press corps that has access to Donald Trump is the most policy-ignorant press corps in the history of presidential coverage, and their ignorance enables Donald Trump to spread his ignorance. There are solid exceptions to this in the White House press corps, but Donald Trump usually doesn't allow those reporters to ask questions, and if they do, he ignores them or shouts them down, and the rest of the press corps is failing you and this moment in history every day.
So yeah, that was great. We need to have more folks who have that exposure, who has that platform to actually interrogate the president as they should. And not only that, not allow him to get away with all the fallacies he gets away with. Oh, somehow that the American coffers are being enriched from all the tariffs that these foreign countries are paying. False. It's the American people whose money Donald Trump is taking to fill the coffers that will eventually end up in the hands of billionaires. That somehow that the farmers are going to be just fine because things have not been better. No, the farmers are doing terribly so. That somehow the prices are all down. No, sir, the prices of all these products are up. And they are also reflective of the tariffs that you have imposed. That's why the shirt costs more today than it did a few months ago. Sir, I mean, everything that, there's a guy that called into FT this morning and he said, maybe what we should do is put an electrical shocker on the president, and whenever he tells a lie, it actually shocks him. Well, the president would cease to exist if that were the case. Why? Because of course, every time his tongue is moving, it is lying. So therefore, he would be in a constant state of shock. Look, the media has not done its job. Mainstream media, that is. We try to mitigate much of these things that are going on, the lies and misinformation, etc. But we got to continue that. And Lawrence O'Donnell, that little catalyst he gave there, is probably going to go completely unnoticed in the mainstream media. Already I listened to them, the way they spoke to him over the last few hours, if you will. Nothing has changed. Mainstream media, very few out there get the job done. Independent media, we are going to just have to keep on taking up the slack to do things right. Absolutely so. Absolutely so. From Paul Fleming. CBS News will be laid off as part of, CBS News staffers will be laid off as part of massive cuts at Paramount. The layoffs come as the network's new right-wing editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss, tries to recruit conservative Republican Scott Jennings, a big liar, to join CBS News. The news network that gave us Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, and 60 Minutes is now dead and buried, Paul Fleming. And buried. You're so right. Veed says ignorance or complicity in the White House press corp. I think that's observant of you, VW. I think it's complicit. You're correct. I think we're looking at complicity here. Anyway, I'm going to play the interview that I did with this MAGA guy, MAGA Evangelical. I know some of you, because I know some of you, some of my left brothers, progressive brothers and sisters, hate that I do this, but I tell you, you don't have to. That's why I do. The good thing about it is that one of my brothers from Netroots, from Daily Kos, my co-writer, whatever we are at Daily Kos, already gave me some positive vibes. So I feel good about this kind of engagement. For those of you who don't like this kind of stuff, I ask you, however, to still indulge. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? Because I wanted the conversation to continue. Want you to check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Glenn.
Hey, Glenn. Right now, I'm going to point out to a whole bunch of folks out here coming out in support of not only freedom, but in support of ensuring that we have policies that support everybody. Just judging from the conversation that I just had with you, you may, while you're looking for unity, you may not agree with a lot of what these folks represent, what I represent. Tell me a little bit about who you are, first of all.
Well, first of all, I was raised in the Houston area. I was raised not as a conservative. When I started paying taxes, went to the University of Texas, I started kind of getting out the workplace. Then I started realizing, hey, I'd like to keep more of my money. I'm for the poor. I want to help the poor. I want to help people that are in need, but can we do it in a more rational way or more logical way?
All right, so you came out here. You saw that we had a lot of progressives out here campaigning. I want to challenge you and say, I wonder how different you are from these folks out here.
Well, really, even though the power establishment that wants to, whether it's the media or whether it's politicians, whether it's certain foreign entities that want to, I believe that want to separate us.
Yeah.
I believe when we come together that we'll be more powerful and that we will have more freedom and more independence. Because regardless of what side of the aisle you stay on, if the entities believe they can keep us separate, then they can dominate our lives. And I'm for pure freedom. So that's me. That's what I represent, is for people to come
And by
together.
the way, I wanted to let you know, I agree with you. I believe that all folks need to get together, but it's a bit more than getting together. I think we need to come together on things that are moral.
That's it.
Okay? Things that are moral, that support everybody. So let's go ahead and talk about that.
Let me talk about that.
Yeah.
I am all for legal immigration. In fact, my wife's from Mexico. She's an immigrant here. We've been married 34 years. And in fact, we used to house people early in our marriage because she came over here. She came over here as an immigrant, and she did it the right way. So I'm for, you said about moral things.
Right.
I'm for people coming across the border legally, but I'm not for them we can only house so many people. We can't take millions upon millions. It breaks our infrastructure. It breaks our hospitals. It breaks our jails. We can't handle it, so we need to do it in a rational way, legal. And I'll say this, make it simpler. Cut the red tape. I've got a great idea. They pay coyotes $3,000 to come across the border. Give the American government that $3,000 and say, for 3 years, if you don't commit a felony, if you don't do this, make them legal, make them be a taxpayer, let them become a part of society, and then they get their residency.
Okay, two things I want to mention there. First of all, that's not a bad idea at all.
It's not our fault, it's the way it is.
No,
I'm
actually,
for refugees,
but let me just say.
Like Jamaica,
right.
We can receive as many of those people as we want.
Right.
I'm willing to pay taxes for that because of the tragedy. But because your country has not respected laws like this country has the past 200 years, and there's a reason that we're blessed, whether you want to call it colonialism, whatever, we are blessed. So yes, we should give some of that, but we can't give all of it.
Okay, now let me ask you a couple questions now. You made a statement. You said their countries are the way they are because of their mismanagement.
Yes.
And we are doing well because of how good we do things over here, correct?
Is
that your belief or not?
Yes, it is belief.
Okay, now that is what we learn over here. You watch the news over here and you see the things over here. If I were to tell you that a lot of things that most Americans don't know about destabilizes. I'm from Central America.
Okay.
I'm a legal resident, but I don't think anybody is illegal at all.
What country are you from?
I'm from Panama.
Panama.
Okay. Now, if I told you, and I accept that you don't know certain things.
Well, I accept that you don't know certain things as well.
Now, what I'm saying, however, if I show to you that America has so destabilized south of the border that many of the influx of refugees that we have here is of our own volition, would you be willing then to accept that a lot of the people that are coming over the border is our fault? Yes or no? That's a yes or no question.
Partially.
Okay, good. Oh, that's great. Okay, now the reason I ask that is that I can tell you as a statement of fact that much of the policies executed not by our government specifically, but that our government has allowed corporations to do in Panama. Look at what recently happened with the ports in Panama. But many of the things that we've done with the fruit.
Are the cartels America's fault?
Absolutely not.
By consuming drugs, it is, not by corporations.
You're such a smart guy. I was about to say that. I was going to say the cartels are not America, the government's fault, but it's a result of capitalism, the cartels. And how is that a fact? It is a fact because America has a demand for drugs.
Right.
And because America has a demand for drugs, somebody is going to create that supply.
Which is a moral thing. If we were a moral country,
right,
if we weren't destabilized because of the breakdown of the American family,
yes,
the modern day plantation that is with as the democratic policies ran in all of these liberal cities where the more babies I have, the more money I get. Okay. With fatherless homes.
Let's stop for a second.
Hold on, let me just listen.
No, but I want to.
Abraham Lincoln stated this: if you can destroy the family, you can destroy a nation.
I got it.
And that is why we're having all of these problems, all of these things that are happening.
Let's do that one at a time. Let's talk about that one at a time, because you did mention about the destruction of the family. First of all, the nuclear family as understood in America works fine. We have in Latin America, our nuclear family is very different. In Latin America, our nuclear family is much more expansive than the nuclear family in America. We have the
In fact, it's better.
Yes, you are married to a Mexican. You know about your
Absolutely.
grandmother.
That's part of the reason I married her, because they respect family.
We believe in families. However, what I'm saying is, if you look at what the breakdown of society is and try to say it's a moral decay of the family, I think we are one level of indirection in the wrong place. Here's what I mean. It's our economic system that creates the economic conditions that destroys the family. And if we go to the root of the problem,
okay, so how do you solve that? If you're an anti-capitalist, I'm not an anti.
Okay. Let's not put words in anybody's mouth. Let's
so
do
what's
this.
the answer to
the
that?
answer is this: capitalism not as an ideology, capitalism as a tool. Let's give an example. Capitalism, if you want to have a pizza shop and you want to get investors in that pizza shop, perfect. If you want to have all these different things that people depend on, perfect. However, if you want health care, when you break your leg right now, and you're out of a job, whether you have, I want to take care of you. That's a moral thing and a societal thing. That is called a healthcare system that supplies everybody. A healthcare system does not belong in the market, because I can't tell when I am going to be ill. I can't tell when my leg is going to be broken. I can't tell if your son is going to grow up with a mental problem that you can't afford to solve. And as a society, the difference between rugged individualism and society is that rugged individualism says, well, tough luck. A society, something that a moral society, that of Jesus for those who believe in Jesus, that of Allah for those who believe in Allah. That society would say we would create a system where that person is taken care of. The fact that right now our Speaker of the House says, I am going to cut all these benefits and blame it onto undocumented. I'm not done. I'm documented.
Well, then you're not interviewing.
No. I'm going to interview in a second. And the speaker, the fact that our speaker has said that he is going to stop funding emergency rooms from taking care of people, that's immoral. You can continue, my friend.
Well, I would say this: if we were dealing with 300,000 or 400,000 people, our system could take care of that. But because it's so massive, now I agree with you 100% that healthcare should be a moral issue. When I was 20 years old, I'm 22 years old when I left college. My knee got banged up from football. Yeah. I went out in the workplace, and then we began this conversation. I told you once I started paying taxes, I realized that I became more of a capitalist than I was more of a healthcare.
And we'll talk about that from a moral standpoint in a minute.
When I can tell you when all of this started, it was in 1964 when Lyndon B. Johnson dipped his when it was privatized.
Yeah. What was privatized?
When healthcare. Yeah. I paid $30 to go and see a doctor because the government kept their tentacles out of it. When the government starts, this is what I don't understand about people, is that if the government has no, listen to this statement, if the government has no competition of itself, then we're totally enslaved to them. And pure power always corrupts. So as far as I'm concerned, the best of two evils will always be capitalism, because if I work harder and I take the risk, I get to keep more of my money. Now, there is some evils with that, because you get multi-billionaires that can pay lobbyists off and can pay these people off. Yes, I understand that. But always, what it does at the same time, it creates a spirit of excellence. You look at Russia, you look at some of these countries where they have no hope. They don't care because the government controls everything. Now, I think the point you were trying to make is have a little bit of capitalism and a little bit of common sense with morals. And man, if we could get there, but this is the reason, brother, with men, you will never get there. That's why our country was built on the Constitution of Judeo-Christian values, where we took care of everybody. When I was growing up, you didn't have to worry about locking your door because those people over there, they were godly people, or they were more close to God than we are now. Regardless of what your belief system is, Muslim or whatever, if you have moral integrity, that's where it all starts. Because if I treat you the way I need to be treated, we won't have to worry about healthcare. One of the reasons healthcare is so expensive is because the corrupt insurance companies. It's not I worked in a doctor's office for 6 years. It's not the corporations, it's the insurance company, banking industries, Wall Street, and the insurance company.
You sound like a socialist.
They're very powerful.
You're a socialist.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
All right.
No, I'm not.
I'm teasing you, and the reason I teased you is because you described the ills. And here's the problem that I see.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry.
What I think of what we disagree on, and I was talking to this gentleman. This young lady's a very nice lady.
She's
right
a very intelligent lady.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What I think that where the left misses it, and you know the Democratic Party didn't lose this they lost it. If they'd have had just one.
No, go ahead and say. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the Democratic Party gave the election to Trump because they got so arrogant with the media supporting them and the whole narrative supporting them. They thought they could just jump off the cliff and not give a hand to normal working class people. Normal working class people don't want men in women's restrooms. Normal working class people don't want men competing with women in sports. Normal working class people think it's okay for a man to marry women. I don't have anything against a homosexual couple. It's a free country from now, freedom. But you know what? If tyranny takes hold, not just from Trump or from the left, if the powers that be in this world destabilize, we have one world economy, a monetary system where there's no cash anymore, and if you don't agree with who's in power, they take your money from you, then we'll see really world war
Let me just
out.
say this, and I say this with respect. I honestly say this with respect. Your source of information from what you've just said, right?
It's not. It's right there in the World Health Organization, isn't it?
Let me finish.
You know who Klaus Schwab is?
You remember I gave you the whole length of time to speak, so hear me out.
I'm sorry.
Hear me out not to come back. Hear me out to understand.
Our
okay?
Politicians are paid off.
Right. Now,
period.
all politicians are paid off.
All of them.
But let's...
And the few that stand up for white get blackballed.
Let's be clear here. One, the first thing you said is this country was formed on Judeo-Christian belief. That's not a true statement. Half of our founders were theists.
That's right. No, okay? Not half. Probably about.
Okay, so let's be clear.
But
no. You can read the. Have you ever read the Federalist Papers?
Yes, I have read them.
If you read the Federal, you don't have to revise this or read the Federalist Papers. Just read them.
I know that our tenured professors across academia
all you have to do.
About
no. There's no line here. Read the Federalist.
The Pilgrims and the settlers used to get along.
Brother. All I'm saying, read don't listen to what the propaganda from any side says. Read the Federalist Papers. This country was not formed on Judeo-Christian values.
Then why was it so blessed? Oh, was it done on the backs of slaves?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but here, will you dispute that?
No.
Wait, brother. No. Hold on. Let's get baseline. Will you dispute?
Let me ask you this: then why is there any other African country or African country that's successful? Is that all because of America? Look at the ghettos today.
Wait.
Look at the ghettos of modern day plantation, and the Democratic elitists are
No,
brother.
You have to.
Socialism.
Wait, it's not. No. Listen to this. You have to understand this. I know that is fixed in your head, right?
Well, I think things that are fixed in your head. I have the Holy Spirit telling me. I have the presence of God.
I have the Holy Spirit telling me too.
Good. He tells you what, to just give money to everyone that comes along?
That's not what it's all about. What I'm saying,
there's no earning anything?
No, that's not. I don't know. I don't know where you get your information to believe those things. Because look, I'm a black dude. I'm an engineer. I'm a business owner. I do all these things. All the black folks I know, the same. All the black folks I know, whatever part of Houston. Hold on. Because you are misinformed, my brother. I'm telling you, and you have to understand this. Wait. No, it's not. There's no.
I look at what we've done.
Hold on.
Every legislative.
Sir.
Why should a man that stabs someone have 17 felonies and stay in jail? That's a Democratic policy.
Yeah, sir. No. Again, that is not. You see, you're not. You're. Those are talking points.
Let me ask you something.
Sir, stop. No, stop.
Tell me to stop.
Yeah, please. No. Please. We're having a conversation, not a. Stop. Here is it. And this is important. You have. You hold on. You have all these things that have been in your mind for all these years. You're stop.
Facts.
No,
I
no,
can see it.
no.
It's in society.
You can't see it because,
Yes, I can.
brother.
It's on MSNBC,
Sir.
a liberal station.
Let me finish talk. That's the problem that we have with communication. You said you want to unify. Let's communicate. All right? You want to unify.
You won't listen to facts.
Sir,
You just say we got
no,
it
no,
in
no,
my
no.
brain.
It's not, sir. I'm giving you statistical information, fact-based information.
How do I know that? How do I know what you're
Let me tell you what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. Because I'm saying, I know where you're coming from. Here's what I want to do. When we're done with this conversation, I'm going to give you a card of mine. And what I want you to do with that card of mine is I want you to start, hear me?
I'm just listening.
I want you to start listening to my program, and I also want you to be calling into my program. I have a radio show, and I'm trying to bring people together too. But what I'm saying, there's so much that you have just said that is, and I say this with respect, is wrong. And the connotation that you have about black folks, the connotation
Oh,
that
that's
wait, no,
That's ridiculous.
let me finish.
I'm gonna say
bro,
it.
it's
You
not
know
about.
why?
I'm not saying racist.
I have huge amounts of black friends that affect immensely.
I'm not trying to say
that I'm a racist.
I'm not. No,
That's where we all go.
No, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there at all.
So you think the modern day plantation in the ghetto is all wonderful?
No.
Where they have more kids?
No.
That's all Democratic legislation.
Listen to wrong,
single
but
bit of it.
again, that's why I'm not going to finish this conversation here. But here's what I want to do. I want you to start having this conversation, checking out my show, talking about it, because I need to get into people's heads like yours. Because I have a lot of friends that started out like you. Okay, a lot of friends that started out like you that I've sat down in Starbucks and spoken to hours with, and we've gone over data until one of them came and gave me a back slap and said, Egberto, wow, all right, I see that. I'm no liberal, but I see that, and that's where I want to take you. And let me tell you what I'm talking about.
Maybe I'm not as smart as you.
No, it's not. No.
Maybe that's
No. Again.
But you know, it's just all of us people that are riders.
No, stop. It's not about stupid at all. It's not about stupid. It's about where we get our information, why and how. And let me explain what I mean by that. There is a concerted effort with something that began known as the Powell Memo that was designed to actually inflict in people's mind through churches, through media, through all these other avenues, to really create this split that's occurring and to create this false information on all sides.
It's always been there, though, brother. But there's always been there's always been the givers and the takers all through history.
But you know what? Who are the takers and who are the givers is what we don't
I don't
get.
know. What do you think?
Okay, let me ask you.
What do you
Is
think?
Musk a giver or a taker?
How many jobs does Musk create?
What?
How many jobs? What about
how many?
technology?
Zero. I say Musk created 0 jobs.
What are you talking about?
Zero.
Yeah, he's fixing to with AI.
No. He has created 0 jobs. You know who
How's that?
created? What do you do for a living?
I'm on Social Security, but I was.
Okay, so you're in socialism. But what did you do before?
Socialism.
But what did you do before you became a socialist?
Oh, and by the way, there's nobody's my
Teasing you, brother.
Nobody's touched my Social Security.
Wait, stop.
All
I'm
our
teasing you.
Social
I am
Security checks, we
teasing
just got
you.
a raise.
Hey,
You're completely ignoring.
let me ask you this. A question about this. What did you do? How old are you?
I'm 63.
What did you do before you went on to Social Security?
I was in sales.
What did you sell?
Oil field equipment.
Oil field equipment. And were you a good seller?
Yeah, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah. You were.
and I've done many different things. I was in route sales.
Yes.
I've delivered bread. I've did construction.
Huh?
I've seen it all. I've stood up on top of buildings and done ironwork. So
You know
I've
what,
done
brother? Can I shake your hand? Let me tell you. You remember I told you Musk didn't create not one job? You know how many jobs you created by what you did? What do you think? Were you a giver or a taker?
I've always been a giver.
All right.
That's my problem.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. I'm
I'm tired
Okay.
of
No.
giving people
The
that
giver.
wanna take advantage of it. But I'll still do it,
Musk
because God
took a
teaches
lot of
us.
money from you, and all these billionaires took a lot of money from you. And you know how they did it? Because of the way the economic system works. But I'm going to end the conversation with asking you for one thing.
Yes, sir.
Will you keep the conversation going with me? Because I want to use you as a template.
Yeah, that's fine. Well,
Yes or no?
Yes. And
All
with
right.
This, that everything is obvious. This is one thing, that they're trying to divide the American public.
Yes, it's true.
And there is a they, whether we want to believe it or
Yes,
not.
that's true.
You can just look at everything, whether it's the billionaire capitalists or whether it's the leftists that are in Europe that want to start a one world economy. They all are wanting us to hunker down to them.
Right.
And I think we can both agree to that.
Okay, well, let me tell you.
I just think there's just two ways to get to it.
Now, thank you, but let me just tell you, I think you are going to realize, based on who you are, what you are, how much you make, and all the things that I've discerned so far, that we have more in common and that you have more in common with the left than you see. So
think
thank
we
you,
all
my
have-
brother. Let me tell you something, guys. I know a lot of people take exception to why there are a lot of things that I refrained from saying when I talked about the destabilization that the United States affects throughout the Latin America, throughout the world, specifically Latin America. There are a lot of things that when he started to talk about the plantation and the ghettos, that assumption was like ghetto equal black as opposed to ghetto equal poverty. There are a lot of things there, but when you're having this kind of conversation, my methodology it's not to jump on every issue. It's about jumping on the broad issues and slowly bringing it in. We can get into a lot of the specifics afterwards. And that is how I had a lot of success in exactly, Mason, how I use the tropes eventually against them. In other words, it was amazing how he said, okay, what do you do? And he says Social Security. And while I made a joke by saying, oh, socialism, and you're a socialist, it was a joke. It was to tease him, but it was also to put him and say, oh my God, what, because again, they don't see that or nobody tells them these things. So you aren't going to change the world with one conversation. You're not going to change the world with 10 conversations, right? What you do is you do what they do in the field. When, remember when the Navy is going up to a shore, what they do to the shore, right? They soften the shore so that it would be receptive to the payload, or you use a virus to take a payload. And that is what is so important. What a lot of us as progressives are unable to do. And again, that is because, you're factual, smart, intelligent, you're not easily fooled, although some on the left are as well fooled, but you know who I'm talking about. And when you have these conversations, it is never easy. It's funny because as we were leaving, he got into an angry discussion with one of the protesters that are there, one of my friends as well. And I went in between and I looked him straight in the eye and I said, aren't you a Christian? And eventually he apologized for his anger. Again, this stuff is, I don't know if people understand the degree, and this is especially with evangelicals. I don't know if people understand the degree in which evangelicals are indoctrinated, and it's easier for evangelicals to be indoctrinated because things don't require proof. When somebody tells you, I know it's so because the Bible says so, where does the discussion go? Where does it go? It is true because God said so. Where does the discussion go? So you have to find a way to get an alternate that somehow can work in parallel with, quote unquote, God. A lot of times that is a family member, etc. So there are a lot of techniques that one has to use when addressing these, and these aren't techniques that are going to work the first time, the second time, the third time. You have to first find those wedges. And if you listen to that discussion, for those who will go and listen to it at the second time, the way a lot of my phrasing was done, he agreed with. When we discuss capitalism, something that is their God, capitalism is the God of the evangelicals. You listen to every prosperity preacher, you listen to every preacher in every Southern Baptist church, and every one of these evangelical churches. Capitalism is their God, not Jesus Christ, but capitalism. And when I frame capitalism in the form, notice what happened. It's like, oh, yeah, I kind of can agree with that. And that is all you need. You just need to get the critical thinking juices running long enough. Because remember, you revert back. Everybody has a tendency to revert back to norm. And the only way to get away from revert back to norm is to break that spring, right? It is like what happened to me from being a sexist and a homophobe, right? That spring had to be broken. So even as I knew intellectually the realities, that spring had to be broken so it didn't revert back to form. Remember that. Revert back to form. And that's what this is all about. Anyway, anybody wants to give me a call, I don't have anything else. I gave you 4 videos. I went out there in the field to do this stuff today. I had another video to cut, didn't have the time to do it. So you can give me a call at 281 823-7747. I'm going to put it in both chats. Para ver, 281-823. Let's see, 747747. And that's the number if anybody wants to call in. Anybody wants to make a comment. I'll be all ears. This morning, we got a lot of calls at the end. And not only did we get the calls at the end, March KJ started a little mini drive for us that actually allowed us to complete and fulfill the quota that I had on this morning's program at KPFT. March KJ, you started it, girlfriend. Anyway, so anybody want to call me? Give me a call at 281-823-7747. If I don't get a call in a minute and a half, I think I'm going to shut her down a bit early today because I'll be honest with you, I'm tired as hell. Went to bed very late, got up early, and also went ahead and did some of that work out there in the field. So give me a call, 281-823-7747. Marge, you notice how the phone don't stop ringing in the mornings, but we hardly get any actual calls here? I think it's a different platforms. This is a chat platform mostly. I guess the other one is about chat and numbers, right? Let me put the number in again then. Here's the number. It is 281-823-7747. 281-823-7747. And for those of you who don't know, I never did the phone system. I hadn't had it hooked up. And Bruce Pollard, one of our supporters, like, Egberto, you need the darn phone. Brother Harry from Missouri City, Texas. Yeah, how you doing, brother?
That's right. Well, I just heard about an hour ago on NPR when I was listening before I went to your show.
Hold on a second. I got somebody else coming in. I think the other person is Cassie. I tell you what, Harry, I'm going to give the lady a bit above you first, and then I'm going to come back to you. Come on in, Shelby.
Okay.
Come on, you're on, Shelby. Harry's going to talk after you. Harry's a regular. Go on, Shelby.
Hi, Egberto. This is Shelby Casey. I'm on Substack as Lynette.
All right, Lynette, great to hear from you. Thank you.
Yes, I wanted to say hi and thank you for all of the work you do and all the people that work with you. I just love what you do, and I feel so thankful that you guys are on the air, and I appreciate it, and all the people who provide things for us.
Well, look, I appreciate you listening and being a part of the family, Lynette. And please just keep hanging around. The other thing, though, share the Substack, because Substack and all these other platforms throttle political shows many times. So remember to share this with other folks as well, okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Egberto, and everyone. Have a great day.
You too, Lynette. Okay, Harry, I had to put the lady in front of you, Harry, because you are a regular.
That's fine.
You call me in the mornings and you call me in the afternoons. You know I love you. Talk to me.
Well, I do. That's true. Well, the first thing is, I heard a few hours ago that Jonathan Thune, the majority leader of the Senate, blocked $500 billion bill for the funds to be released. As I was telling you this morning at the end of this morning's show, he with his wicked self. And then I heard this afternoon, before I went to your show, that a federal female judge is trying to get those funds so that SNAP can be funded for, I think not fully, but for some of the months. And the Republicans are saying we can't do that at all. Now, they are opposite. And I was also listening to something with Senator Warren. Senator Warren was saying, look, these Republicans do not want to do anything. They don't want to negotiate cuts rolled back and getting the subsidy funds extended. They won't do anything. They just want to open the government and tell lies and say no. And Artie Ars is always preaching on our show. You can put the Republican ideology on the back of a car bumper, and it is no. No on
Thank
this,
you.
no on that.
All right, Harry.
Trying to help us with this. And it's Howard. Howard mentioned this morning.
Yeah, Harry. I got Harry. Thank you, buddy. You're right.
Go ahead.
You're right, but I got 3 other calls in right now, so thank you for that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, let's
have
go
a good rest of the day. All right.
You too, my brother. Let's go to a new caller. Fultz, come on in. I think the name is Fultz Shari. Come on in, Shari.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. What do you think about what was brought over this morning? I think it came out live where he's demanding all the states get their guard ready. Do you think he's going to call martial law?
I think he's going to toy with the idea, but you see, when he makes that leap, he opens Pandora's box, right? So I think he's going to be... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. In my opinion, he's using it as a scare tactic, and he's just and he's not going to do that. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I think there's a possibility that he does it. I mean, I think if he feels like I think if he feels cornered, that will be his catch-all, and I think he's capable of doing it. I do think he's capable of doing it. But what we have to do, in my humble opinion,
I think he's capable, but
yeah, I don't want him to do it. Don't get me wrong, but I think we have to prepare for him to do it. We need to prepare for him to do it, and we have to have tactics that are ready to do it. And here's the tactics. One of the tactics: 23,500 people just give you 500 guards in every state. This is a big country. While the news media concentrate on New York, Chicago, Miami, Houston, and these areas, this is a huge country. We right here in the Houston area, when we get activists going, they're not only in downtown Houston, as Patrick will tell you, they're in Conroe, Texas, they're in Kingwood, Texas, they're in Pasadena, Texas. These guards can't be all over everywhere. So we have to start preparing tactics on how this stuff is going to happen, and we can do it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We don't have enough law enforcement to stop protests and to stop the kinds of things that's going to bring that 3.65% people that we need for the change, Sherry. But Sherry, I'm out of time, so I need to go to Patrick. So thank you so kindly for calling, sis. All right, Patrick, come on in, Patrick.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Come on in, Patrick.
Well, for the last caller, and maybe I have my definition wrong because I'm driving and I can't double check it right now. But I believe that he has taken actions that qualify as martial law because he's gone outside of the 100-mile buffer zone from the borders and still made arrests using ICE agents under the guise of.
But he was using. He brought the border. He drew the border in such a way that that's even though we know that's not the border. He claimed it is the border. So he didn't quite say martial law. He went ahead and redraw the border instead of starting it from the center of the Great Lakes. He brought the border in on land only.
Okay. But the reason why I called was Scott Bessick keeps coming up lately. And yeah, I kind of threw up when he said that he was a
farmer.
Soybean farmer. Yeah, he's an investment banker. And what's really interesting about him, and I think one of the reasons why he was chosen to be in this administration, we point out that everybody in this administration is extremely underqualified, and most of them have questionable intellect. This guy, at a time when hedge funds were something that you could get completely wrong and still do very, very well in the climate that he dabbled in them, I believe he has a record for the largest loss in a hedge fund. It lost $3 or $4 billion.
Yeah.
And the only person that made any money out of that fund was him.
Yeah, I wonder why. It's the same thing. I don't know if you guys realize the reason why we're propping up our Argentina. We're propping up Argentina not for Argentina's sake, but for all the shorts that, not the shorts, but all the longs that their friends invested in Argentina. Because you know what's the funniest thing, Patrick? They believe the crap that they say. They believe that right-wing economics actually produces success. They believe that. And they got burned. Milei burned them. And that's that $40 billion is going right back into the pocket of hedge funds holders. That's a part of the story not being told. But I got to get out of here. We're at 4:04, so I'm way above, and I got to shrink this down for those people who carry the program on the syndication. So look, thank you so kindly, my brother, and let's talk tomorrow, okay?
Okay. Just one other thing. Private equity is going into the military.
I wonder why.
Weapons that'll be built will be done through private equity.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll talk tomorrow. Anyway, folks, we got to get out of here. But beforehand, I want to remind you to please support the program. And the best way to support the program is how, again, becoming a paid subscriber of our Egberto Off the Record Substack. And how do you do that? You go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. That is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. I'm going to put that link in there right now. If you go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, just go ahead and find a subscribe button or something and become a paid subscriber, and you can continue helping us do the work that we need to get done to save our democracy, not only save our democracy, to make sure people be paid, right? So again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Anyway, I got to get out of here. My name, or rather, you can get to me directly, info@politicsdoneright.com, info@politicsdoneright.com. Love you all. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. Out! All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.